Hello, everybody. Bienvenido a todo. Right. So, as always, I am in Train Sim World 2, and today I'm playing on PS5. I have decided to do a um, Boston Sprinter run because I haven't actually done any videos on Boston Sprinter aside from the one when it released that I made. And actually, it's had quite a few upgrades since then. So there's been like the catenary was changed. I think they did something with the cab signaling, the ATC and access. They have more recently released a patch with bug fixes. So I thought, why don't I go back? And also because the only time I've done this, I did the Amtrak service between basically the whole route, Boston and Providence. I think I ran it Providence to Boston, but possibly it was the other way around. But anyway, I digress. This time I thought I'll do an MBTA service on the Stoughton branch, which is a small branch that comes off from Canton Junction. So it's about between a third and halfway down the line. You sort of no. I think it's more like between a quarter and a third of the way down the line. You branch off to Stoughton. It's only got like two stops on this branch, and I have tried making this video in the other direction using the cab car, but always nothing really happened. It's not very interesting. So I'm going to try now with the actual loco going in the direction of Stoughton from Boston South. Right. I know I'm going to forget to do something when I set up this bloody train. I always do. But anyway, let me give it a try. Okay, right, let's go. Right, so, oh, is that in forward? Now it is. Yes. Oh, I should open the doors. I'm brutally aware that this game, this does not give you much in the way of was that it? Oh, lead or dead. Yeah. Right. I think I set that up right. We'll find out, I suppose. Safety device, warning device. Well, I think that's it. Well, I'll turn the radio on. I don't know. And that. That's everything I can find. Right. So, I don't think I need to mess with any of this. I do need to put on those three, but these three. I always forget. And then I'm like, why is nothing happening? Right. Ooh, there's a train leaving beside me. Right. And I can close the door. Oh no, it's arriving. Right. Where are the headlights? There. No, I don't want the rear headlights. I want the front headlights. Down there, maybe? Yes. Bright, I think. Right, so I shall take the brakes off. Pray to God I have I've done everything right. And I can start moving. Okay, amps are going up. That's a good sign. Okay, brake pressure's going down faster, and I'm moving. Okay, that was good. Good. I think I need to put the wipers on. I'll put the 150 for good measure, because I think I set snow. On a clear day, well, no. I set light rain in December, so it's going to snow. I didn't put any snow on the ground, and I reduced the wetness, so gradually I think it should begin to snow. Yeah, there we go. There's snow, and the ground should get whiter as we go. Oh my God, I'm already over speeding. God damn. Okay, right now I need to get down because at some point the access or ETC is going to be like, die you. But okay. Ooh, and let's leave Boston on a nice early morning. Oh, look at that! Look at that! Lovely. Lovely. And oh God, I say this about everybody. Look, I'm not a massive fan of this logo, but it is quite. I do. I can live with it on this route. And even like when driving the cab car, and it feels weird that you've got this huge logo at the back, doing all the work. It's it's novel. I mean, yeah, it looks like every other bloody American locomotive, but you know, what can you say? They save money by reusing exactly the same cabs in almost every loco they make. And then some German manufacturer comes along and designs something like the electric locomotive that runs on this line. What's it called? Is it a Trax? Is it a? Oh, I can't remember what it's called. And it's like, what the hell? That looks nothing like anything else here. Well, here we are, trundling along, saying goodbye to Boston. Well, no, we're still in Boston for a while yet. We're going to Boston Back Bay next. So, things to say about this route now that it's been a little bit jazzed up. The overhead catenary was changed in an early update, like within like a few weeks of the route releasing, which I completely missed actually. And I was like, oh, when's that happening? And then I checked and I was like, oh, that came out like 2 months ago. And it's funny to think this has been out since August. Now it's December. It's nearly Christmas. And So the catenary is now more prototypical. The one they had was like borrowed from the old NEC line that was in TSW 2020, and was not representative of how it is. And this one more. This one is. This one's basically just more square. The other one had like telegraph poles on it. Telephone wires, I guess. I guess they weren't telegraph poles, but who knows? What else? Some bug fixes around the safety systems, I think. Although on PC at least, I played the service and the safety system still felt like it wasn't doing things right. But when I played the same service on PS5, it seemed not to have the same problem. So I don't know. But it may not have been the same service. I think it was the same service. So there you go. I think they changed the physics of this train at some point. Maybe not the physics, just the they changed something about it. Right. Well, anyway. So, I'll be honest. I do think this is probably the weakest of the rush hour routes. But then again, it was the first, it kind of, you know what, it's very similar to Hamburg Lebeck. It does what it does, and it does it well, but it doesn't bring too much new to the game. So like when it first came out and seeing all the passengers, it was like wow, and that was pretty amazing. But like most of the rush hour routes, well, depending on the platform and the route, do have rush hour passengers, and so now the novelty on that's worn off a bit, and it does actually probably have the most original. I don't want to say unique, but like because these aren't that unique train. Well, these coaches are about the newest thing we got with rush hour pack overall. So maybe it's got that to its credit, but service-wise, it's very A to B. It doesn't have anything like no, I want to keep the brake on for a bit. It's not quite. It's not like stepping into London Commuter where you really feel immersed. Like Jesus Christ, there's trains left, right, and centre, and it's not like Dresden. I'm never going to be able to say it right. Dresden, Riesa Dresden, where it feels like the variety of services is extraordinary, even if it doesn't feel very busy. But then this route has that problem as well, where the actual main chunk of the route doesn't feel very busy. You don't pass lots of trains, presumably because it's missing the Acela, which would be a fairly, well, I don't know if it would be that frequent. You'd probably get 24 services a day max. So it wouldn't necessarily fill things out, but because it's fast, it fills up a lot of the time. Um, Everything has to be scheduled around it. So it's be missing kind of makes it harder to figure out why the line is so empty. Um, but still, it still doesn't. It just doesn't at the moment feel like a well utilized line. Which isn't to say it's a bad route at all. Like I still would recommend getting it because it's well modeled. It runs quite. If you like A to B routes, it's good. It does, like I say, have probably the most original rolling stock with the Rush Hour pack. Um, this may be based on a loco we've already got in the game, but it's paired with its coaches that we don't. And the Amtrak train is the only way to experience that kind of train in the game. In America, on an American route anyway. So, okay, with that, I'll end it there and just say it's the weakest, but it's still good. Um, and I do enjoy coming back to it for its simplicity. Right, so with that bit over, I'll get on to where am I going? Route 128. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, if I'm going to Route 128, that means basically that's the only stop on the main line, and then I'll turn off to Canton Junction. And whether I'll stop there or not, I don't know. I could pause, but I don't like pausing. Um, oh, there we go. Bit of cab noise. Um, I have got the sound turned down, so that usually explains why I think I've got it turned down. It sounds like I have it turned down. That usually explains why it's quiet on these videos. But the train may be quiet inside anyway, or may have been made that way by the dev team. Overall, I'm content with the past few months of this game. Since Rush Hour, the 3 routes, and then West Cornwall, I've been pretty much boom, boom, boom. This has been delivering. Now I'm waiting to see what comes next. Right, so I wasn't that bothered about the other Dresden route that's coming, Tharandadula ramp or whatever it's called. But I was kind of interested because it's got the BR612, which is a diesel multiple unit that's a tilting train. And I was kind of like, that's interesting. Then they released that article, and immediately I was like, yeah, I'm going to buy this. I mean, I was kind of likely to buy it anyway, just because I kind of think these routes are well priced. I know that people will disagree and say, oh, it's 25 quid every time you want a route, but what I get from a route compared to like going to the cinema, I get much more. So I get much more from buying this route than going to the cinema twice, which is about what 25 quid would get you. I'm kind of like, the route has to be something that I'm really not interested in. American freight, for me not to buy it. So yeah, I was always like to buy it, but now I'm definitely going to buy it because as soon as I saw the article about the 612, I was like, oh, it looks so good. And I like, if this has like a decent timetable and levels of services, then it's stupid not to with German routes because you get so much layered in if it's the right kind of route. Similarly, I was kind of like on the fence about the new. This one I'm still on the fence about, but could change depending on what it looks like. A new route that was just announced on the roadmap, which is New York Grand Central Terminal to Grand White Plains, Grand White Sands, something like that. It's basically a Metro North line that runs out of Grand Central in New York, onwards to, let me remember, let's see if I can remember it, goes onwards to like upstate basically, stays within New York. The full line kind of goes on and on to a place called Southeast. There the third rail ends, and it only continues as a diesel line, like diesel only, no diesel traction only. And they're just doing to Grand White Plains, which means it's only around a 25, 26 mile route, which is quite short now. Think it, like even West Cornwall's longer than that. I mean, unless West Cornwall just feel like a slog. But it's going to be the kind of route that has lots of stops because it's a metro commuter route. So it will probably end up being around an hour to traverse the whole line on a busy commuter service, which is, interesting. Also, the rolling stock is the M7 and the M3. Very similar to what we already have. They'll have different liveries. I'd wager the interiors are not that different, and the driving experience likely to be the same. So we'll see. Um, I is this train? It says I can go 90, but I'm sure the actual limit with these carriages is 80. Well, anyway, I'll just I'll settle at 3 on the throttle and see what happens. Where was I? Yeah, so that route I'm still a bit like meh, yeah, meh, yeah. I'll have to wait for the preview for it. I mean, I usually buy passenger routes because they, like I said, they're good value. But that one, I mean, I think Long Island Railroad is officially my least played route. Like, I mean, maybe West no, because I've spent quite a lot of time doing like the scenarios in West Somerset. So I quite like the tweeness of it. Um, but Long Island Railroad, no, never really did that much in it. I bought the M3. I don't even know why I bought it. I think it was on sale, and I was like, oh, it looks quite cool. And it was fun for like a bit. But the route just, it's one of those meh. I own it because I got it with a base pack when I bought the deluxe edition. Um, it's always felt a bit empty timetable wise. So yeah, not a big one for me. So Metro North being that same kind of vibe, probably not gonna be something I'll get into. We'll see, but especially because it, I don't know, it'll have to bring something pretty good for me to want to buy that. Um, Probably on sale in a few years, or maybe in a few months, I would buy it whenever it comes out. I assume it'll come out around February, or usually they come out every 2 months. So I assume Dresden's coming out around end of the year or before early January, maybe. Um, and then I would guess it comes out after that. So around February time, end of February maybe. Oh well, unless the oh no, wait, there's an American route to come, isn't there? Another one. Horseshoe curve. Oh no. Well, I think Dresden's the next route, then the American route, then the freight route, American freight route that is, and then it'll be the ooh, ooh, ooh. I've slowed down a bit, so I don't know if I'm going to make it to Route 128. But oh well, I'm going to idle now because I can't remember how good this train is at stopping. I still got about a minute to travel, just under 2 miles. I'll keep it at high speed, and once I get the countdown in feet, in yards, I'll be like, oh, put the brake on. Put some sand on, get some friction. Yeah, and then there's a steam route coming at some point, which I think is probably likely to be a British route, and we'll see. I can't remember if I've said this on previous streams, but like, I really hope it's not some like sanitized, twee, countryside, Downton Abbey version of a steam rail where I really want gritty urban grime from like full on mid to early 20th century. I'm going to stop putting the brakes on now actually, lightly. And then I think I'm gonna. I want grime, grit, like all of the worst things you can imagine. That's what I want. Oh no, I've done it. I've braked too much, and now I'm going to be late. I'm already late. Bloody hell, I'm already late. God Almighty. Maybe I can catch up sometime between here and Canton Junction. Probably not. But yeah, Steam will be the one that I'm big on. I'm super interested in how that works in TSW. Um, I'm not massively into Steam, but I would if we got like the equivalent of Northern Transpennine Steam era, that would make me happy. Particularly if it's like busy and clackety and all of that would be brilliant. Um, I'm feeling based on how they build routes generally, they're gonna want to reuse the Mark 1 carriages that they've already got, which means they'd be going for really late era Steam. And I would guess because there's a brand new one, well, not brand new now, like maybe, oh gosh, is it already nearly 10 years old? Like the Tornado, the A1 Tornado. Um, that would be like, I'm sure there's lots of schematics they could use from that would like give them everything they need, as well as lots of people around to tell them how it performs. And they could use that, which was a very late model British Railways train or loco that was prolific throughout BR in the would have been the 50s, before they were all unceremoniously dumped in the 60s. So yeah, we'll have to see about that. And we'll see. We'll see. Like I always say, I'm open to pretty much anything apart from American freight. And it's not just freight. Like I can deal with I bought the heavy freight pack for Northern Transpennine. I did quite a few of the services as well. Quite enjoyed them, even the scenarios. That which for me is like, whoo. But like American freight, switching, faffing about with that. To me, it's just no. I just don't. I don't get feel that. I don't get much from it. So we'll see. Okay, I'll put you up. So yeah, I mean, of all the things that I really want though is still, I just really want. I just think I can put that on. Oh, I can. I really want another UK overhead wires route, West Coast Main Line. Well, it doesn't even matter. It could be West Coast Main Line, Great Eastern Main Line, the Lee Valley lines, the West Anglia lines, the line from I can't remember what this one's called. It must be called something. The Essex Main Line. It must be called something like that. The one that goes from Fenchurch Street to South South End, or another Scottish line, Edinburgh to Glasgow, maybe. Part of the East Coast Main Line would be great. Even a diesel era Northern Transpennine route on the East Coast Main Line would be brilliant. But yeah, feels like we're might be waiting a while for that kind of thing. Because it sounds like we'll get British Steam first next. Then there'll be a succession of Steam routes. Well, no. Next is the next British route. I think will be Steam. Then there'll be a succession of Steam routes. Then they might move on to like something more modern again. But I'm always able to see how the game develops. Always. And oh, you know what? Whilst I've got 2 miles to get up to speed until I'm unceremoniously dumped to 45 miles an hour and probably over the limit and get the emergency brake application, I'll talk about what I've been doing the past few weeks. Been raising a new dog that we rescued, Lupita, who's a beautiful thing. She's a mix between a French Spaniel and a Podenco, which is a fairly common dog in Spain, which like owes its heritage, well, so the legend goes, owes its heritage to the dogs bred by Egyptians for worship. And you kind of see that when you see them, that they have the pointy ears and they are very statue-like, if they can sit up straight. But why does it say 45 miles in 1 mile rather than that? Oh, well, I don't know. It's ATC telling me this. Because it's the line speed. Oh, that's why. And she's beautiful. She's like brown and tan with like some peppery white and spotty chest. She's got beautiful face, very friendly and emotive, and she's very well behaved in the house. Outside on the street, she is a menace. There is no dog she will even come close to allowing to be anywhere near her. Which isn't too surprising. She grew up. She's a rescue dog, and she was found in an industrial estate. So she probably was either abandoned or ran away, or for some reason ended up there on her own. Um, she has been around other dogs while she was in the refuge and while she was being fostered. Um, so there's hope for her, and we're training her at the moment. And she likes laying up and snuggling next to me whilst I'm playing Train Sim World or Grand Theft Auto. I have to say she does not pay a huge amount of attention when I play any game, but with Train Sim World she does sometimes like to watch, as if like, ooh, like what are you doing? What is this thing? I guess because maybe she like sees the movement and it's like, ooh, that looks cool. Especially and when I don't have my headphones in and I'm listening to it on the speed on the speakers. I mean, it sounds fairly phenomenal. I'm sure she hasn't done been around a whole lot of diesel or electric engines in her life. Uh, Spain's railway network isn't quite like the UK's, that you don't get like trains running through lots of industrial areas very often. Spain's railway network is quite limited in where it goes. Um, so, yeah, just because she grew up in an industrial area doesn't mean she was anywhere near trains. Um, she's not bothered by cars though. Not got bothered by cars, motorbikes, bikes. I mean, she's like, if they're right next to her, she's not exactly thrilled, but she can live with it for sure. Oh, I've got plenty of time here. Ooh, ooh. Right. But she's a lovely, lovely dog. Friendly to humans, and very cuddly. Um, Almost too cuddly. On the basis, now that's not a criticism because I do love her cuddliness, but on the basis that she has to be told to go to her bed at night because she just wants to get into our bed. And it's like, no, 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 no. Oh, she's looking at me now like, why are you saying no? What did I do? No, I'm sorry. It's all right, babe. Um, but yeah, it's interesting. I've lived around dogs, but I've never had one myself that I've been responsible for. Goodness me, it is a lot of work. Honestly, I know like it's a typical refrain, but dogs are for life, not just for Christmas. So, as it's a season, don't think about getting one. You really, whatever, however much work and effort you think it is, if you've never had one, times it by 10. That's how much effort it is. Effort it is. Certainly, if you're rescuing a dog, bear in mind it will have its own traumas, its own feelings, its own life from before it met you. So you're going to have to adapt to it because it's not going to be very quick at adapting to you with its like given all of the traumas it's had. Suddenly appearing in a new house with new people and new routines is going to be very difficult for it. So, yeah, those are the kind of things you have to bear in mind. But it's a really rewarding thing. Um, every day when you train, when the dog does new things, trains or understands a instruction, it really is like, oh, it's wonderful. And there is something that just melt your heart when, for the first time, the dog kind of like gives you a lick or a kiss, and you're like, oh, it loves me. Oh, oh. Why is that yellow? Can't be anything else on this line. So is that just a yellow telling me, yeah, you're. Well, let's see. I think it's one of those yellows that clears when I close the doors. Come on. Get up to 30 miles an hour. Let's go mad. See, I'm always terrible at noticing when I have this effect on, but when you put the snow on, you start with nothing, And then as you're coming to the end of the route, you're like, oh, what the hell? The whole route is full of snow. And like, it just happened without me even noticing. Um, I do love that about this game, the weather. And I swear that the clouds on Rush Hour look a hell of a lot better than in any other routes. Come on. You know what? I'm doing quite well at the moment. Like last time I tried this in the other direction, I ended up like, oh God, I must have been the service that should have taken like, I think this service is supposed to take about 38 minutes. In the other direction, same or less. And I mean, I somehow, goodness knows how, managed to end up taking like an hour and 10 minutes. I think actually I blame the safety system. I think it was keeping me at 20 for some reason. I couldn't for the life of me figure out why, because there didn't seem to be a train in front of me. And I reckon that my theory was that the safety system is taking, for some reason, taking into account trains that aren't there. Maybe. That was my theory at the time, anyway. Now I don't really care. I'm like, oh, I can live with things being late or whatever. Oh, it's lovely. Lovely jubbly. Yeah, this is a good route to pass like 40 minutes in. 40, 45. I think some of the Boston Providence services do take a bit longer sometimes, like the full run. Oh no, the MBTA ones, which have like, quite a few stops, they take over an hour. But for faster runs or short runs like this, about 40 minutes, which is perfect for me. As I always say, I'm not big on spending huge amounts of time in the game. You just got off and stood there. Well, goodbye. Per route. Like I can spend hours in this game, but I usually like to but usually going between routes or services, like one service doing it for like more than an hour. I mean, you can watch my video of running the full West Cornwall route in a class 47 to see what happens. Like I literally was falling asleep by the end of it. I mean, I was playing when it was late. I think. Oh, um, but still, oh God. Well, actually, no, I think I was playing on a Friday like I am now. Friday, work's finished, but in Spain, we have two bank holidays next week on a Monday and a Wednesday, which means you take one day off on the Tuesday, you get 5 days off. Oh, that's why I love about living in Spain. This happens like twice a year, towards the end of the year as well, when you really need it. So yeah, with that, I'm more than content. And then it'll be Christmas holidays, and again, the way where I works, they shut down for like 10 days. And then there's a bank holiday in January, so you take a couple of days off and basically end up with 3 weeks straight off. So perfect. Leave in the middle of December, come back early January. Perfect for me. And yeah, which will be good. 'Cause I'm very tired. Plenty of time to take doggy for a walk. Lupita, lots of walks. We'll make you friends with other dogs if it kills them. It certainly won't kill me or you. But it might kill me with embarrassment. Although, you know what, when you become a dog, when you first start interacting with the dogs, you're kind of like, oh, everything's my fault. Then you realise how fucking stupid some people are. Your dog is like going, like the other day, Lupita was going absolutely fucking crazy because there was a dog barking on the other side of the road. And she was really hyped up by it. And then this woman starts walking her dog on the same side of the road. So we kind of like get ourselves into position between a couple of parked cars to be like, come on, focus on us. Don't focus on the dogs around us. We don't want to walk past this dog with her in this state because she'll lunge at it and bark. This woman walks past with her dog, stops, just literally right next to this Lupita who's going crazy, and just stops, lets a dog come up, and we're like, you are you crazy? Like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? I don't care if you want your dog to socialize. Why do you want your dog to socialize with a crazy dog at the moment? Like, Lupita is not good with other dogs at the moment. You should ask us, like, just move on and let us continue because we're waiting for you to get out of the way. Oh, it got me angry. And then someone in my building did it with their dog in the lift when I was going down. Don't get me started about why you use a lift. She honestly, this dog, she's like, one week she's like, oh no, I don't like using the stairs. Oh, I'm a bit scared. And you're kind of like, okay, yeah, okay, fine. We'll use the lift then. Next week, oh, I don't want to get in the lift. It's too scary. Like, come on, keeps us on our toes. What's good about her though? Always keeps you guessing what's going to be her thing this week. Um, that's what I like. Dog with personality. I'm actually getting the feeling she's a bit like a cat. She's starting to do things like she'll come and when I'm at work, she'll. I think this might be my fault because when the cleaner was here and doing the vacuuming, she was a bit skittish, a bit like, oh, I don't know what's going on. So I put her on my lap. I like pulled her up onto my chair while I was doing work. I mean, I say I was doing work. My work at that time involved playing a recently released, very good racing game. And reviewing it for various reasons. And she was on my lap while I was doing that. So, I mean, it was obviously not too hard to have her. She's not that big. She's like 9 kilos, so she's heavy-ish. Heavier than a cat for sure. But not so big that I couldn't have her on my lap for like an hour. But now she's taken to like lying down next to me while I work. Like snuggled up in the corner. I'm like, why are you doing that? It's so weird. Oh, I'm going up a really steep hill, that's why I'm going so slow. Um, and um, and yeah, some of her kind of changed the behavior. Like that's like a cat does to spite you. You know, when you have cats and they're kind of like, no, I don't want to do that anymore. Oh, I know you. I know you like feeding me at this time, but I'm not going to eat at this time because I don't like you. That kind of behavior. Um, but only with certain weird things. Like with food, she'll just eat whatever you give her, whenever you give it to her. It always makes me laugh. Like me, basically, I'll eat anything once. And then I'll probably be like, no, I don't want to eat any more of it. Ooh, reduce, reduce, reduce. And let's go. Let's get some nice looks at the train. Proper local hold service. Big diesel engine at one end and little cab car at the other. This is the thing. Is there like some reason in America why their locos are very rarely, or these kind of locos don't have a back cab, so they can just be used either way? Seems to just not be a thing so much. Like some of the freight locos have the kind of like layout where there's like a cab kind of towards the middle where you can see out both ways badly because they've only got the small little windows like an O8 or a Class 20. But you can drive them both ways basically without like, and it'd be fine. Whereas these ones just it just doesn't have a back end. Like you can drive it one way. That's it. There's no cab here. Is it to save money? Is it because of safety regulations? Is it because it's just not thought that anybody would need to drive a train in reverse without a cab car? I'd be interested to know. Can you hear someone at the door? They're in another apartment, babe. You don't have to worry. Lupita. There I am. That is my doggy voice. She's so cute. She's taken to like she this is such a dog person, like a dog owner thing to say. Oh, she puts a paw on you to like be like, please give me more hot cuddles. And she looks at you with a sad face if you don't give her them. This is what you have to worry about most becoming a dog owner, the sort of mushiness you turn into. when your dog looks at you with eyes, like just like the eyes that they have no way of looking at you any differently, but you're like, oh my God, oh, it's so cute. I'm 900 yards, but I'm 30. I'm gonna be late. Oh, that looks nice in that weather. Oh, in that weather in nice. Yeah, I mean, I have to say this is a good route. Um, these bloody, I mean, all the patches they've done, they still haven't figured out how to turn on the bloody rear lights, have them turned on so that you're not driving. Like, I know I could go back and turn them on, but I would be so late leaving if I did that, that it just wouldn't be bloody worth it. Oh, now I'm going too fast. 10, really? Oh, oh. Yeah, get me back up to 10, please. What I will say again about this route, um, definitely has the potential for if you add the cellar, it would give it something. It would complete it, I think. I don't know if any other rail companies operate on this line. I'd assume not. Um, but I feel like the Northeast Corridor is like America's most busy route. Um, oh, it's because there should be freight as well, but because they don't have a freight loco that has ATC and ACE access, or they don't have one that has access. I think they do have them that have ATC. Maybe they can't actually run them on the route, um, because that's the way that you cab signal. That's the way you signal them, or tell them the speed limits. So without that, you couldn't really drive one properly. If you were trying to play without the hood. But yeah, well, we'd have to see with a game like this, um, whether they can get a seller, whether they think they'd make any money from it. I mean, I think people would love it, um, but like I say, it's literally Boston Providence only. I don't think it stops anywhere else, and I suspect because of that, would only give a limited number of services. Like, I'd be surprised if you got more than 20, 24 a day, which would definitely be a stretch to imagine buying it. But then, it's one of those things. It's just one of those things. The other thing I would say is that it's. Oh, you're wagging your tail. And no, this is a stream for trains, not dogs. Um, the other thing I'd say about this route is that the locos are interesting to drive, the diesel ones and the cab car. Well, the diesel loco and the cab car that goes with it. I can't remember their names. Whatever this loco is, and the cab car at the other end, whatever that's called, because um, they're like that kind of American diesel, but passengery. That when it like kind of comes together to like it almost feels like you're driving this big rough gruff loco, but it's for passengers. Um, and the cab car in particular feels very sort of cut and shunt, put together, because it basically was just a normal carriage with a cab car stuck at the end. So yeah, that will be definitely an interesting route. Not the most interesting in the game, but then again, my opinion is pretty much always the complete opposite of what I read in on the forums or of the esteemed people who are enthusiasts who I've been on this line and that building is 2 centimeters to the right. It's wrong. Whereas I'm like, I love it. So yes, Well, I will next video. I will definitely try and do Dresden. Um, because I want to review that as well. That might have had some updates and changes since I did the only video I did for that. And then I'll probably go back to Learning Community and West Cornwall until the next Dresden route comes, and then I'll be tilting trains for a long time. No, I won't. We'll see. We'll see. But yeah, I would like to thank you for watching, listening to me ramble. And if you're in Spain, I hope you have a really good bank holiday week almost. And if not, sucks to be you. Hasta luego. Say goodbye, Lupita. Well, she moved her eyes, so that's goodbye for you.